2 years ago, and I definitely wish I had known some things before launching into this whole process. I'm an only child, so I didn't have any siblings that had done it recently, and being at Liberty was a new school. There was only one class ahead of me that had ever gone through this. So it's something that I was not prepared for at all, so I really want to help you guys be as prepared as possible to start. And so, to put it simply, college preparation starts now. It's kind of hard to realize, you're sophomores. It's 2 more years till you graduate. But in reality, the college application process basically starts in another year. End of junior year is when things kind of get real with test taking and that sort of thing. So it's coming up quick, and I definitely want you guys to be prepared for that. So there are 7 basic parts of the college application. Personal information, which is pretty easy, address, that sort of thing. Transcripts, testing, extracurriculars, essays, letters of rec, and interviews. Interviews are something that is not every college requires. It's normally reserved to the most selective institutions. And if you want to think about what those are, that's like Harvard and Stanford and Georgetown and MIT, that level of school. And so, taking it one by one, personal information includes 3 main parts. Your personal information, which is your contact information, your address, your citizenship, your geography, what language you speak, and if you've grown up speaking, that sort of thing. And then email is really big on this. Use your current email, use the one that you actually use. And if you don't use one, start using it. I've heard too many horror stories of people who had it sent to their spam file or had application notices or updates sent to them that they don't check anymore. And so they miss really key things, or things did not go too well for them. So make sure you have a current, up-to-date email address that you use often. Your parents' first lines of first generation, as far as siblings, number of siblings, and number of siblings in college. Those are basically like how many people live at home, sort of thing. How many dependents are there? Transcripts. So our Liberty transcripts include 4 main things: grades, classes, GPA, and graduation progress. The graduation progress is for Liberty's purposes only. We're the only people who care about that. Colleges don't really want to see how many credits that you've completed or have to go. They do want to see that you graduated, so you kind of have to graduate in order to apply. So what these schools look for good grades, rigorous course load, and a solid GPA. Now that depends on the person. That is not cookie cutter. It's not 4.0 AP, everything. It's not that. It's different to each individual. And so good grades can mean that you're a B average student all through high school. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It shows that you're consistent and you know how to work. Rigorous course load, again, that depends on how much you can handle. Don't overload yourself, don't overpressure yourself just to make it look good on transcripts, because the grade matters, and if you overload yourself, you'll find out it's impossible to maintain those grades. So make sure that it's rigorous enough for you. It's rigorous enough to be challenging to you and to push you, but not to overwork you or kill you academically. And then solid GPA. Again, this depends on the person. Like I said, if you're a solid B student, that's fine. If you have a couple bad grades here and there, that's fine. As long as your overall GPA is good, it's usually above the average of people who colleges admit, that's awesome. And also, an upward trend is really good. If in your freshman and sophomore year you had a couple bad grades here and there, or you bombed a class or just wasn't your thing, you found out later, that's fine, as long as you improve over the next few years. So if you do really good junior year and excellent your senior year, it shows that you figured out how to do well and how to learn how to succeed. And colleges love that. They love to see that you're on the upswing, that you're coming into your educational prime. And then testing. I'm pretty sure all of you have heard of the ACT. That's something that you guys will be required by Colorado state law to take. April 23rd, I believe, of next year. That's the standard date. And every school, every college that you will apply to will require these. One or more, or even a combination of those 3, ACT, SAT, and SAT subject tests. So what I encourage you guys to do, and what I wish I had known and had done, is to take the ACT and the SAT. Try them both, because you'll find you're much better at one than you are at the other. ACT is very hectic, very fast-paced, lots of questions in a very short amount of time. Whereas the SAT, you get more time, there's less questions, but they're harder. So if you need a little more time to think through stuff, you can still get them right, the SAT might be for you. But if you're really good at knocking out quick answers, I would say the ACT is for you, but you won't know until you try both. And like I said before, you'll probably find out that you are much better at one of them. And so if you take both, you'll be able to find out which one that is. And then SAT subject tests. These are a bit unique to, again, the most selective schools in the country, so if you're looking at those, then you'll need to take these. These are, like it says, subject specific. So there's one for chemistry, there's one for physics, I think there's two for math, different levels. There's one for European history and one for US history. They're very well rounded. There's one for all the languages too. So there's many different options there, and these schools normally require two. The higher level schools require two, but it's very common for people to send in three because you can take three in one sitting. These are a time for you to show that you have a specialty. You're very good at one subject, or that you know your stuff in a few of them. It's a time to really add to your application and show that, hey, if you're a math and science kid, that you took math, physics, and chemistry, and you aced them all. That's what colleges want to see at this level. Not every school requires this, like I said before. In fact, many only require either the ACT or the SAT. Some, however, require the ACT and SAT subject tests, or the SAT and SAT subject tests. Others, so the state test that you'll be taking on the 23rd does not include the writing portion for the ACT. It does not include that. That's something you will need to take on your own time. And most of the colleges that I've heard of require the one with writing. So you may very well end up taking the ACT twice, which I recommend. If you take it more than once, you will do better the next couple times. I think out of all the people I know, the maximum they took it was 3 times. They took the ACT 3 times, and they were done after that. You can take it up to 12 times if you're crazy, and I don't even want to go there. But 3 times was a lot, but still kind of standard. And they improved each test. Each test they did better by either a couple points or drastically. It happens. So, you're probably going to end up taking it more than once, but that's a good thing because you'll do better. Don't let the state test be your first ACT because you will go in there completely flustered, completely panicked, and you may bomb it, and that kind of sucks when all of your classmates are taking the same one. So which one should you take? Find the one which is best for you, but you have to remember, you have to take the ones that the colleges that you're applying to want. You can't just not send it in, because then your application will be incomplete and you will not be accepted. Which one do schools prefer? They treat the ACT and the SAT equally. They try not to give more weight to one or the other. Every college I applied to said that they're the same test, basically. So don't think that one is better than the other, because it's not, unless it's better for you to take. And then, when should I take them? This is a bit ambitious, a bit aggressive, but going back, I wish I had taken it early junior year or before the junior year if I could. The summer before junior year is a great time to study. You have time. In junior year, you will not. You'll have a couple weekends that are free, but you do not want to cram on your only free weekend of junior year. That's just not a thing that you want to do. So when should you take them? Again, this is my take, my opinion. But if you can, study for it this summer, after your sophomore year, before your junior year, and take it as soon as you can. Then you can see how you do, take it multiple times without feeling crunched with a college application deadline. And then what are the SAT subject tests? Like I said, they're a time for you to shine. They're a time for you to show that you have a very strong, inclination towards one of these subjects or multiple subjects. Extracurriculars. I'm sure all of you guys are involved in some sort of EC. I can guarantee it, whether it's school, connected to the school or not. It's still an extracurricular, it's still a time commitment, and it's still very important to colleges, especially the higher level ones and the bigger name ones. I recommend try different ones. Figure out which ones you like. And once you kind of narrow it down and figure out which ones you really have a passion for and love, you can really, come into it and take it on, make it your own. And that's what they want. They want commitment, leadership, and impact, and passion. If you can get those across, they show that you're an interesting, well-rounded, passionate individual that they want at their college. And so if you can get that across, you most likely going to get in. And being in a small school is a very good thing for this. We don't have that many clubs. That means you can create your own. You can establish or found your own. And that shows a lot of initiative. It shows that you saw a problem or a need and you wanted to fix it and you did something to fix it. That's very impressive. Colleges love that. So if you can get that done, whether it's big or small, doesn't matter. It's very, very impactful on how your application is read. Essays. Essays are probably the most time-intensive part of the college application process. It's just hands down. I applied to 10 different schools, and I wrote, I would guess, 35 different essays. It's insane. I don't recommend applying to as many schools as I did. If you can, if you need to, it's fine. But if you're not looking to go all out, then definitely tone it back a little bit. Luckily, some topics overlap, because most of them are given to you. Most of the prompts or the questions are given, and so those can usually translate over to different schools. You're able to copy and paste. Others are are up to you. They're your own choice. Those can be a bit intimidating, because you're given nothing to go off of. There's no starting point. They basically just say, write about something that you would like to. And that's a great chance for you to show who you really are. Show how unique you are. Show what an individual you are. And that can be big. That can be big in this process. Because if you can show the reader, your application reader, something different about you, they remember it. And since they remember it, they'll pull for you in the committee process and they'll try to get you admitted. And then they give your application a personality. It's something completely different than you normally think of. You think of an application as something that is a list of scores, very transcripts, something very number statistic oriented. But essays and letters of rec and interviews all provide opportunities to differentiate from that and expand on it. They show that you're a person. You're not just a list of numbers. So talk about something that can't be understood from your resume. If you were in a club for 3 years, explain why you were in that club for 3 years. Explain what your impact was or what you did, that sort of thing, where it's different. You're not just a member or a participant, you're actively involved in the person. Revise, revise, revise. Get this done as many times as you can. Make it smooth, make it flow nice. Don't make it awkward. Don't let a reader just pick you apart because you had a bad sentence structure, you stumbled over something. Don't let that be a hiccup or a point of emphasis. Really make it clean, make it work. And then find your voice. This is the hardest part of essays, is being able to express yourself through, 500 words maximum. That's normally the case. There's some that are even shorter. I had one essay that was 25 words. That's a sentence. It's really hard to include anything worthwhile. So if you guys can start figuring out who you are, what your passions are now, you'll be miles ahead of where most college applicants are in this process. Letters of rec. Good letters of rec work the same way as your essays. You provide another aspect or insight into yourself that is not apparent through your resume. Pick your letter of rec writers wisely. You don't want a teacher to write a letter for you who maybe doesn't know you that well or thinks that you don't participate in class. That sort of thing. Make sure that you have a teacher who's usually, this is going to be your favorite class. Usually the class you most enjoy, you're most involved with. Get those teachers that you like and appreciate to write these for you. They will appreciate that you think highly enough of them to help you with this process. And they want you to get in. So, if they want you to get in, you should help them in any way possible to write about you. Give them your resume. Give them areas to focus. Give them areas to highlight about yourself. Something along those lines. Where, if you were an active voice in the class or you really debated some topics, let them talk about that. Let them talk about that you weren't willing just to sit and be talked to. You were willing to participate. That sort of thing. And that goes for every subject, every class. It doesn't matter. It can be math, art, music. It doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're actively involving yourself so that your letter of rec writer has something to say. But don't let them turn the letter of recommendation into a resume, into a list of your accomplishments. They already have that. That's already in the rest of your application. So you're basically wasting the letter of rec if that happens. I had that happen. It's unfortunate, but it does occur, and it kind of sucks. And then highlight, like I said before, highlight traits and specifics that you want them to talk about. That can be the key to getting in. And then the best letters of recommendation are told as stories. That sounds crazy. It sounds like, you know, you want a general feel of you over the year, but that's not true. If you can do a specific moment or a class period or a discussion or a lab, something like that, where you did something unique, you participated in a new way, or you really involved yourself and enjoyed it, that sort of thing. Again, doesn't matter what class or subject, if they can tell us a story, it's huge. It's huge. It's not just a list, it's not just a, oh yeah, I love this kid, he's great. It's something that, you know, this person's unique, they're an individual. And then interviews. Again, probably not many of you will have these, but that's not a bad thing. It's just dependent on what schools you're looking to apply to. They're always done with the most selective schools. They can either be done on that school's campus or by local alumni interviewers in your area. And trust me, there's a lot of them in Fort Collins for most schools. It's actually kind of nice. It's another chance to put your mark on your application, to give it an identity and a personality. They're an opportunity, but mainly, interviews are an opportunity to learn more about the school you're applying to. You may have visited, you may have, your parents may have gone there, you may have been to a sports game there, or researched them a lot on the internet, but nothing is the same as having someone who's gone through 4 years spent there, living there, breathing there, that sort of thing, where you can get first-hand experience, first-hand stories, accounts, that sort of thing, that is just so key to learning what that school really is. And a lot of the time, you can help figure out whether if you really want to go there or not. It's really nice, it's really helpful. And a disclaimer, not getting an interview does not hurt your chances. Sometimes interviewers aren't available, sometimes there's not many in an area. Sometimes they're sick or they have family crisis, that sort of thing, where life happens to them. They're very active individuals. They're alumni from some of the biggest name schools in the country. They're type A personality people. But you shouldn't be scared by that either, because they are awesome people too. I've had some of the most interesting, just fun conversations with these people. I had a Duke interview actually yesterday afternoon, and that was one of the coolest women I've ever met. She was awesome, she was outgoing. She was on the snowboard team at Duke University and won nationals. That sort of just crazy stuff that these people accomplish, and you get to be told about it, and you get to experience through them what happened. So, this was a lot. This was very quick. I wish I had a little bit more time to talk to you. So, if you guys want more information, I'm actually offering 2 information nights for the school. One on the most selective schools, and again, those are the big name: Harvard, Princeton, Stanford, Yale, MIT, Georgetown, Washington University in St. Louis. That sort of school that is very big name, very well known. The application process is a whole different monster there. It really is. And I want to help you guys through that from start to finish. And we'll also have personal accounts for the current seniors who have just gone through this, just finished it. Also, Liberty graduates, namely Emily Ye, who's currently at Brown University. I think we're going to get her to Skype in, so that'll be cool. And alumni interviewers. My Princeton interviewer will be here. His name, sorry, will not be here. His name is Nick Fry. And he's class of 09 Princeton, and he lives in Breckenridge, so we will Skype him in as well. And he's one of the coolest people I've ever met in my life. He's a CEO at age 26. That's awesome. And learn what it takes to set yourself apart. I've given you some of the foundation to do that just in this presentation today, and I really want to help you guys learn and sculpt that. And then U.S. Service Academies. I've also been through that process myself, and so have Nate Trout and Brad Knapp. We've all been through it, and we've all been accepted. That's insane. That never happens. I've never heard of it happening ever before. That 3 kids from the same school got into 3 different service academies. And so here we'll help you learn all about the application process, the nomination process, the physical requirements, and medical evaluation. Everything. And we will also hear from local academy representatives. I'm getting my Army contact, Major Afua to come. She's pretty interesting. She's not the normal Army person. And also Captain Emsley, who's an old Navy grad, who is quite the dude. He's impressive. So they will be giving you insight into that and the roles they play in the application process. So please come to those if you can. It's really a good time. And even if you're remotely interested or on the fence about where you're thinking, or even if you haven't started thinking about this at all, now's the time to do it. now is the time to find out more about these two very specific application processes. So, any questions? Yeah?
What are the dates on those two?
So, the most selective schools night will be March 7th. These are both in March. And U.S. Service Academy night will be March 28th. So, we've got a little bit of time before then, but just want to get this out there early so you guys can bookmark and preserve it on your calendar.
Hey Wade, can you talk to them a little bit about junior year and class ideas and workload and balance?
So that is what you guys are doing right now. There's some for classes. So just quick word of advice: if you don't overload yourselves, junior year is hard enough. You don't need to make it ridiculous. I did that to myself. I took 4 AP classes on top of regular physics, American Lit, and 2 other classes. It's insane. While I definitely learned a lot and grew from it, and I ended up doing very well, it was still such a time sink, and I had no free time. And so if you guys are willing to put in that sort of work and effort, by all means do it. I respect you for doing it. But if you're not that crazy, if you're not that academically inclined or focused, take something that's manageable for you. It still pushes you, but it's still manageable. Some classes that are probably the most workload intensive, in my opinion, in my experience, have been AP US History. I spent probably 3 to 4 hours a weekend on that alone. I loved the class, don't get me wrong, it was awesome, it was interesting, right? I did very well on the AP test. I loved it. But it requires time. So if you're doing 3 sports a year, or if you have some insane time coming outside of school, that might not be the option. AP Chemistry was also very, very intensive, very, it's just a lot of work, and the tests are particularly hard. Like you guys know, American Lit, all of you guys will be taking that. That can be hard at times, and other times you get a book that you freaking love. For most of us juniors, that was Gatsby. When you hit that book, it's not homework anymore. You finish the book, 2 weeks into reading it, and you have 9 chapters left. You're done because you loved it. So part of that year will suck and will drag on forever, and the other part will be awesome and fun and interesting. So I'm excited for you guys to take that class because I enjoyed it so much. If you guys are in the position to, I would recommend taking both calculuses, AB and BC. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's just Landon makes it very manageable homework load-wise. Some periods, like on block days especially, it's 2 and 4. That can sound pretty daunting to have 3 straight hours of math, but she makes it so that the second half is more of a study. So it's very manageable. It's very, I wouldn't say easy, but you can still get through it just fine. Any other questions? Specific classes, that sort of thing. Clubs, student leadership.
All right, guys. Well, let's thank Wade, and thank you, buddy. Good job.